on YouTube. That's better than the one. Okay, we are live. And we are live. And we are live. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, you're on twice devices. I think that's the problem. Can you,
as host, you can probably mute one of them.
yeah, Kim, can you mute? Probably both of them. There we go. Okay. Sorry, Mr. Mayor, would you call the meeting to order, please?
I call a meeting to order 9:06 a.m. on Wednesday, December 14th. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We'll go ahead and do a roll call real quick. Supervisor Solis is alternate member Omoto Frias. Here.
Good morning here. Sorry about that.
Thank you. Member and Mayor Hepburn.
Here.
Member and Council Member Rick Crosby.
Here.
Member Ray Skelton. I think he'll be joining us in a little bit. And member Dr. Anthony Orlando.
Here.
Thank you. Next, we have swearing in of new board members, and with that, Assistant City Clerk Lupe Estrella will be doing that today for the two of you, or three of you.
Okay, well, good morning. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and swear all three of you at one time. So basically, when I say I want you to just give me your names, and then we'll go from there and you repeat after me. Okay? All right, and we'll start with Orlando. Just have your
Rick
name.
Crosby.
I, Anthony Orlando.
I, Tammy Montefrias.
Repeat after me, all three of you. Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear.
I will support,
I will
I will
I will
support,
support,
defend the Constitution of the United States
defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California.
and the
the
Constitution of the State
Constitution of the State
of
of California.
California.
All enemies,
All
All
enemies,
enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign
foreign
and
and
domestic,
Domestic.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will
And
I
I
will
will
swear
swear
true faith and allegiance.
faith and allegiance,
Constitution of the United States
the
The
Constitution of the United
Constitution
States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the
and the
Constitution of the State of
Constitution of the
California.
State of California.
that I take this obligation freely
And
And
I
That I
take
take
this
this
obligation
obligation
freely
freely
without any mental reservations or purpose of evasion,
Without
without any
mental
mental
hesitation,
reservations.
and that I will
and that I will
and that I will
and faithfully
and faithfully
and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
discharge the duties
the
upon
duties
which
duties
I'm about to enter.
Congratulations, you are a member of the Public Finance Authority of the Kansas Infrastructure Financial District. Okay.
Thank you. Congratulations, everybody.
And I think Orlando, you're gonna be mailing me your oath, correct?
I can drop it off later today for you.
Thank you.
Next, since we with the change of new members, we don't actually have a chair or vice chair, so I'm going to ask for a nomination for chair, and then look, yes, if anybody would like to make a nomination for the chair of the.
I nominate Tim Hepburn for chair.
Okay, are there any other nominations for chair? Okay, can I have a motion to appoint Mayor Hepburn as the chair of the PFA?
I so move to appoint Mayor Hepburn of City of Verne as chair of the PFA.
Did
I
have a
second.
Thank you. All those in favor, I'll do a roll call. We'll start with Councilmember Crosby.
Yes.
Member Orlando,
Yes.
member Omoto Frias,
Yes,
and member Skelton is absent. And lastly, Mayor Member Hepburn.
Yes,
All right, so that passes 4-0. So I'm going to turn it over to Chair Hepburn now for the rest of the meeting.
do we need
To you,
to?
Vice Chair, please.
We're gonna make I need a motion for I want to recommend Mr. Skelton Ray Skelton for the vice chair position.
That's
And I'll
right.
second that, or you
Yeah,
make the
well,
motion?
Any other nominations for that? But then I would like a second on that.
I'll second that.
Then I'll call for a roll call vote. Chair Hepburn,
Yes,
member Omoto Frias,
yes,
member Orlando,
Yes.
and member Crosby.
Yes. See what you get if you're not here?
he's aware.
Don't miss a meeting.
Okay, so we'll close that and we move to let's see, we do a declaration of emergency.
Number 4, actually.
Number 4. Oh, approval of the minutes. Oh, we need an approval of the minutes from June 22, June 20th, 2020, June 22nd, 2022. Does everybody have a chance to look at the minutes? If so, do we have a motion
I move to
do we
approval.
still,
and a
do
second?
we,
I'm sorry.
sorry, I just had a question. Do we still vote on it if we weren't there, if we weren't on the board or on the authority?
Yes, you can still vote on the minutes.
Okay. I'll second.
Roll call.
Yes, thank you. Member Omoto Frias,
Aye,
member Orlando,
Yes.
member Crosby,
Yes.
Chair Hepburn.
Yes. That carries. The item number 5, direct declaration of emergency. Mr. Shear.
Yes, just resolution number 2204 for the PFA is what allows us to continue these meetings virtually during this emergency of COVID. So in order to continue to do these on streaming only, this resolution will need to be passed. We do it every meeting as long as this format stays in place. And Kim, we'll probably have to look into what our options are 3 months from now when the next meeting is in March, because I think there might be a deadline in February, if I'm not mistaken, of when we might have to go back to in person or at least hybrid. So
That's correct. The state of emergency ends in February.
that's what, as we know it today. And so if that does happen, it's very possible our March meeting would be an in-person meeting here at Laverne City Hall. So just keep that in mind, okay? So with that,
Correct.
I recommend that the PFA approve resolution 2204.
We haven't asked for public comment. Obviously, there's no public comment right now. Is that correct?
There's no
Just
public,
want to make
there
sure.
is one attendee. I'm just gonna make sure there's not a hand raised. That is, our attendee is a staff person from the
Okay.
CEO's office, so I've not received any email requests to speak under public comment on this item or anything else on the agenda at this point, so,
Okay,
but if you'd like to, you should open up for.
I'll open up for public comment. Is there any public comment? There's no one in the public there, so I will close public comment and bring it back to the board. Is there any discussion on the board? And we'll close that and we'll go ahead to, I need a motion to accept resolution 2204. Have a motion,
I'll move.
a second, please.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call vote. Member Omoto Frias,
Aye,
member Orlando,
Yes.
member Crosby,
Yes.
and member or Chair Hepburn.
Yes,
Thank you, everybody.
we move to item 6, infrastructure financing plan project updates.
Yeah, so I'll
Here.
I'll present an update real quick, but before I do that, I failed to introduce, we have some new faces on the screen here today. Besides our new members, Kim Barlow is this incoming city attorney. Unfortunately, Peter Wallen has passed since our last meeting, and so but our normal attorney, Bob Kress, for the city attorney, is also retiring this month. And so Ms. Barlow is going to take over city attorney duties and for the city. And I think, Kim, you're going to stay on for the PFA as well moving forward, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so she's our new counsel. And then also on the call today is Cody Howing. He's our city engineer. I asked him just to hop on real fast. If there's anything on these next projects that I'm talking about that I miss, he's gonna jump in and correct me or help to explain things that he's way smarter at than I am. So let me do a screen share real fast. Everybody can see that? Okay, great. So these are projects that we talked about before at this meeting, and so I'm just gonna give a brief update on these. The first one is the E and Second Street pedestrian improvement project. That's the one that is being funded by the bond that was issued through the cooperation agreement between the city and the PFA. So this is the first real project under the EIFD. Unfortunately, as you probably know, if you know anything about construction, there's delays, massive delays in equipment procurement, especially when it comes to electrical equipment. So the contractor's been awarded the job, but the electrical pedestal for the underground is not slated to come in until March, we expect. So this.
If I could just correct you real quick on that one, Eric, the pedestal's not planned to come in until June, but we're targeting a start of work sometime in March, trying to keep the construction phase consolidated so that we don't tear it up and then get stuck waiting for equipment. So it's in June that is anticipated to come, but that's a tentative date still.
Thank you.
Who's the contractor?
So the contractor is Gentry Brothers. They've done a number of projects in the city in the past, and they're a reputable contractor that we've worked with for a number of years.
So it's moving forward, just delayed unfortunately longer than we had hoped because of the equipment shortage. Next up is the pedestrian bridge. So as you recall, the pedestrian bridge will bring pedestrians from the Gold Line Station platform up and over Arrow Highway and the Metrolink tracks and land on the Fairplex site, the south side of Arrow Highway. Right now, the plans for this project is at 65% design. We're currently dealing with permitting with multiple agencies. You wouldn't believe how many agencies we have to deal with this project. The FAA, Caltrans, all the different utilities, the county, just because of where it's located and what it touches basically. Edison is also working on relocating the power lines that are in the way currently of this bridge is on the south side of the right of way. And we're trying to secure all the easements that are needed to cross these other rights of ways and private property. So those are the steps that we're currently working on. As a team, we meet every 3 weeks or so as a group to discuss these to make sure this project's staying on track. There are some current funding issues, as you should expect that with inflation, this bridge is looking to cost more than what was originally budgeted, especially in the EIFD, the infrastructure financing plan, which was done, nearly 5 years ago now. So we're working on getting those details together. Those specifics will be presented to the city council and this board. Probably your next meeting for you guys, and in between that, we'll probably be presenting it to the council once we have a better understanding of that. But there are some funding challenges, we believe, based on the rising cost of constructing a bridge of this nature. All right, so these are just some renderings that you've seen before, what the bridge would look like.
Does Gentry Brothers have in-house cost estimators, or are they using a consultant for that?
So this project is not Gentry Brothers, that's the previous one.
Oh, okay.
So this is just sidewalk and landscaping and irrigation, but Cody, on this one, they're,
So the way that works is we put together an estimate. I put together an estimate based on recent cost data that I extract from the region for like projects and kind of make my own interpretation where I suspect it's going. There's a little bit of a, let's say, an estimate and guesswork in where that happens. So we put that together. I forget the exact cost, but my recollection is they came in right about where we had estimated on the E and Second project. So that one is on track and in line with what was anticipated, going into the bidding process. And so referring back to the bridge project, KPFF, which is a quite a large structural engineering firm, they're working with us as our design consultants through the COG to move forward and prepare those cost estimates. And so that's something that's sort of an active thing The construction market is very dynamic right now with costing, labor shortages, materials, equipments, everything that can go wrong. It seems like there's a perfect storm that ends up driving up costs. So that's one of the things that they're closely looking at and evaluating on the KPFF side, of course, with our input at the city, and something that eventually, we'll have to bring forward when we're comfortable with where those numbers are at.
So, goal line update, I did email you, the latest newsletter from the Construction Authority last night, so that gives you a big overview of the whole project. There's a lot of interesting details and photos in there, so I encourage you to read that when you have a chance. But, basically, the project as a total is at 62% complete. So they are on schedule to complete in early 2025. Earlier this month, Metro did add the extension from Pomona to Montclair, the final leg of this current phase, as a second priority for state transportation dollars, for full funding as part of a 3-year program to complete the project. So there's hope that that'll be approved or allocated, and that way Metro would be able to kickstart that last extension from Pomona to Montclair, which we all think is very important. Here in Laverne, we have temporary closure of White Avenue in the next week, only for a few days, and it might not even be a full closure, might only be lanes depending on how they can do the work. They're currently exporting soil from the parking lot. So if you've been in Laverne, there's a giant mound of dirt on where the parking lot is on the north side of Arrow Highway, kind of where the bridge is slated to be. They're exporting that as trucking is available. The median work on White Avenue is now complete. The rest of the work that's currently being done is kind of in mid blocks, so they're not impacting street crossings, so that's good for the community. And I mentioned the overview. I put some photos up here just for reference. I took these from the newsletters and other emails that I've received. Top left is the city's platform. This is the platform with the light rail on either side, and to the left is the freight line. E Street is just to the bottom of that photo, and Arrow Highway would be to the right. So we're looking east on this photo. The middle top photo is looking back west on the other side of E Street, I believe. This is showing them laying the new light rail tracks there, and Arrow Highway's on the left. The top right photo is the newly completed crossing at Fulton, which is on the border of Laverne and Pomona, right next to the Pomona North Pomona Metrolink station platform. But you can see the new rail tracks, light rail on the bottom, freight on the top. Bottom left, this photo shows the detail of the decorative sound wall that's been placed where we have residential properties up against the railroad right of way. So it's kind of a citrus theme that are these panels that are dropped in between the pillars. This is consistent throughout the line, the extension of the line. Lastly, bottom right, just again, another photo of them. This is east of White Avenue. They're laying the light rail tracks there in that right of way. So that's really the updates that I have for those 3 things. I'd be happy to answer any questions that the board might have.
Anybody have any questions for staff? See it. Okay, we move on to, there's no action on that one, so it's just more of information.
Just information items on both of those things. 6, no, I kind of combined 6 and 7.
That's
together.
fine, that's fine. We move to public comments, overall communications. Do we have anybody online that would like to speak?
So still no other members besides county staff. And I have not received any emails to request to speak under public comment on this meeting.
We'll close public comment. I want to personally welcome Miss Barlow. I've known her from past with the COG, and I'm very happy that you're on board with us. Also, Tammy Moto Frias, welcome. And Dr. Anthony Orlando, welcome. And Mr. Crosby, welcome. And it's a pleasure. I know we'll things are rocking and shaking here as this goal line comes closer and our stuff in our EIFD, and we'll hopefully see some construction here soon one of these days. So I think that that's going to happen. Unfortunately, the market right now is kind of weird with our interest rates and developers and concrete price going off that charts on Cody. My goodness, they said that's the biggest Concrete and steel right now is just,
Concrete's a difficult one, and it's interesting. It seems to be, from what I've heard, is it all stems back to labor and trucking to bring those materials to those plants. So it's a very dynamic thing. One small piece really affects the bigger picture. So it's certainly something that we're trying to keep tabs on, but it's moving. That's certainly sure.
well, hopefully within a 2-year time frame, when if this bridge gets to fruition. We always know though, it's like gas, it goes up and it comes down, but it never quite gets to where it was previously, so.
The pendulum swings both ways, that's for sure. So hopefully
And our-
timing works in our
And
favor.
our labor market's going up too, so I'm in the business, so it's just one of those dynamics, but we'll get her done. We just have to ask for more money. But welcome anybody. Anybody have any comments or any concerns? Mr. Crosby?
No, I thank you, appreciation that what Laverne has done and the EIFD and the projects here. I think it's going to be great for Laverne and our residents, and actually the residents, for everybody in the San Gabriel Valley. Having the Gold Line and the bridge over to the Fairplex and bringing the great University of Laverne access to greater access to everybody in the valley too. So I appreciate this board, and thank you for allowing me to be a participant.
I do want to thank staff also for our San Gabriel Valley Council of Governments is extremely instrumental working with Director Scheer and his staff. But between that and the homeless situation and everything else, we've got an amazing relationship with them. And I think that's an extreme positive for us, along with the homeless issue, which has to do with the Gold Line and the L line. So all these things intertwine, and we've got great relationships, but it has to do with the staff we have, but also those relationships with the 33 cities, the 3 municipalities, and the 3 water districts that really helps us and our higher electeds get funding for this. We're gonna have to start shooting for some more bucks for our bridge, but we'll do that little by little. But thanks to staff and everyone concerned. Anybody else have any comments?
I would add also on the staff's forefront, our new city manager starts here on Monday. So he's technically the director of this board. So I will be bringing him up to speed on the next 3 months on our EIFD. He's aware of it. And so bringing him up to speed, and you'll meet him at your next meeting in March.
Yeah, Ken Domer's his name. We're very excited. A lot of changes in the city, a lot of positive changes, and we look forward to that. But if there's no other comments, we will adjourn to our next meeting. Our next meeting will be March 8th at 9:00 a.m. That'll be 2023, obviously.
And most likely in person, but we'll keep you posted.
Anyway, everyone have a wonderful and happy holiday. Merry Christmas. And I look forward to seeing you guys in March. And we're adjourned at 9:28 a.m. December 14th.